ServSafe Certification Exam Part 2, let's get started. A pathogen can be best described as A microorganism that causes disease in its host. B. A chemical compound used for cleaning surfaces. C. A type of network security threat. D. A software tool used for diagnosing computer issues. Answer A. A microorganism that causes disease in its host. A pathogen is a microorganism, such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, or parasites, that causes disease in its host. These infectious agents can spread through various means, including direct contact, ingestion, or inhalation. What are the two factors that you can control to reduce the growth of bacteria? A. Temperature and humidity. B. Time and temperature. C. Acidity and cleanliness. D. Cross-contamination and personal hygiene. Answer B. The two factors that can be controlled to reduce the growth of bacteria are time and temperature. By ensuring that food is not kept in the temperature danger zone, 41 degrees Fahrenheit to 135 degrees Fahrenheit or 5 degrees Celsius to 57 degrees Celsius, for extended periods and maintaining proper cooking, cooling, and reheating temperatures, the growth of bacteria can be minimized. Cooking destroys viruses. True or false? A. True. B. False. Answer B. False. While cooking food at the proper temperatures can effectively destroy most bacteria and parasites, normal cooking temperatures do not necessarily destroy all viruses. Some viruses can be more resistant to heat and may still be present in cooked food. Therefore, it is crucial to practice proper food handling techniques and maintain good personal hygiene to prevent the spread of viruses and other pathogens in food. Salmonella typhi is most often linked with which types of food? A. Raw and undercooked poultry. B. Ready-to-eat food and beverages. C. Raw and undercooked eggs. D. Contaminated water and ready-to-eat produce. Answer B. Salmonella typhi is most often linked with ready-to-eat food and beverages. This bacterium is responsible for causing typhoid fever, which can be transmitted through contaminated food and water sources. Foods that are particularly associated with Salmonella typhi include ready-to-eat items and beverages that come into contact with contaminated water or are handled by infected food handlers. Which of the following actions can you take to prevent the spread of viruses? A. Quickly remove and clean up vomit in the operation. B. Purchase shellfish from approved, reputable suppliers. C. Practice good personal hygiene. D. All of the above. Answer D. To prevent the spread of viruses, all of the actions listed are essential. A. Quickly removing and cleaning up vomit helps to minimize the risk of contamination and exposure to illness-causing viruses. B. Purchasing shellfish from approved, reputable suppliers ensures that the products are less likely to be contaminated with viruses or other harmful pathogens. C. Practicing good personal hygiene, such as frequent hand washing and avoiding touching the face, is crucial in preventing the spread of viruses in food preparation and service areas. Therefore, all of the above actions contribute to preventing the spread of viruses. When food handlers should wash their hands, other than at the start of a shift? A. After using the restroom. B. After sneezing. C. After handling money. D. All of the above. Answer D. Hands should be washed before putting on gloves when starting a new task. Hands should be washed after. Here is the list. You may note it down. When washing hands, What should be the minimum temperature of the running water used to wet hands and arms? A. 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius. B. 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 degrees Celsius. C. 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius. D. 120 degrees Fahrenheit, 49 degrees Celsius. Answer, C. When washing hands and arms, it is important to use running water with a temperature of at least 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 degrees Celsius. This temperature is warm enough to effectively remove grease, dirt, and harmful pathogens without causing discomfort or harm to the skin. What must a food handler do before putting on gloves when starting a new task? A. Wash hands thoroughly. B. Adjust their hairnet. C. Check for any tears in the gloves. D. Wipe hands with a dry cloth. Answer, A. Before putting on gloves when starting a new task, a food handler must wash their hands thoroughly. Proper hand washing helps to remove any dirt, grease, or harmful pathogens that may be present on the hands, reducing the risk of contamination and the spread of foodborne illnesses. What is the correct way to care for an infected wound on a food handler's finger? A. Apply an adhesive bandage and wear a single-use glove. B. Apply an adhesive bandage and continue working without gloves. C. Wash the wound with soap and water only. D. Ignore the wound and continue working. Answer, A. The correct way to care for an infected wound on a food handler's finger is to first clean and cover the wound with an adhesive bandage or a finger cot. Then, the food handler should wear a single-use glove over the bandage to provide an additional barrier between the wound and the food being handled. What is the correct way to care for an infected wound on a food handler's finger? A. Apply an adhesive bandage and wear a single-use glove. B. Apply an adhesive bandage and continue working without gloves. C. Wash the wound with soap and water only. D. Ignore the wound and continue working. Answer, C. If a food handler has symptoms such as vomiting, diarrhea, or jaundice for 7 days or less, a manager should exclude them from the food establishment until they are symptom-free. These symptoms may indicate a foodborne illness that can be easily transmitted through food, putting the safety of customers at risk. Excluding the food handler from the establishment helps prevent the spread of illness and ensures food safety. Should a food handler accept a shipment of frozen shrimp that has ice crystals on the packaging? A. Yes, because ice crystals indicate that the shrimp has been kept frozen. B. Yes, as long as the shrimp is still firm and not mushy. C. No, because ice crystals are a sign of thawing and refreezing. D. No, because the presence of ice crystals means the shrimp is spoiled. Answer, C. A food handler should not accept a shipment of frozen shrimp that has ice crystals on the packaging. Ice crystals are a sign that the shrimp may have thawed and been refrozen, which can negatively impact the quality, texture, and safety of the product. Thawing and refreezing can lead to the growth of harmful bacteria or other pathogens, making the shrimp potentially unsafe for consumption. Receiving cut tomatoes at room temperature is acceptable? A. True. B. False. Answer, B. False. Cut tomatoes are considered a time temperature control for safety, TCS, food, which means they require specific temperature control to prevent the growth of harmful bacteria. Cut tomatoes should be received and stored at a temperature of 41 degrees Fahrenheit 5 degrees Celsius or below to ensure their safety and quality. What is the best way to take the receiving temperature of packages of vacuum-packed bacon? A. Use an infrared thermometer to measure the surface temperature. B. Open the package and insert a probe thermometer into the bacon. C. Place a probe thermometer between two packages without breaking the vacuum seal. D. Hold the package in your hand and estimate the temperature by touch. Answer: C. The best way to take the receiving temperature of packages of vacuum-packed bacon is to place a probe thermometer between two packages without breaking the vacuum seal. This method allows for an accurate temperature reading while maintaining the integrity of the packaging. Be sure to use a sanitized and calibrated thermometer to ensure the accuracy of the temperature reading. What must be done to all ready-to-eat TCS food that is prepped in-house and held longer than 24 hours? A. Discard it immediately. B. Cook it thoroughly before serving. C. Apply a date mark to indicate when it must be consumed or discarded. D. Freeze it to extend its shelf life. Answer: C. All ready-to-eat time temperature control for safety, TCS, food that is prepped in-house and held longer than 24 hours must have a date mark applied to indicate when it must be consumed or discarded. The date mark should indicate when the food was prepared or when it must be discarded, which is typically within 7 days, including the day of preparation. Define FIFO and explain why it is used. A. First in, first out, it is used to prevent cross-contamination. B. First in, first out, it is used to minimize food waste and ensure food quality. C. First in, full out, it is used to keep inventory organized and easy to access. D. Full in, first out, it is used to maintain proper food storage temperatures. Answer: B. FIFO stands for first in, first out, which is a method of rotating food inventory in storage to ensure that older items are used before newer ones. This approach helps to minimize food waste and maintain food quality, as it ensures that products are used before their expiration dates or before they spoil. Why would you use one set of equipment for raw meat and another set of equipment for ready-to-eat food? A. To prevent cross-contamination. B. To ensure that raw meat is cooked to the proper temperature. C. To prevent overcooking ready-to-eat foods. D. To maintain the quality and texture of ready-to-eat foods. Answer: A. Using separate sets of equipment for raw meat and ready-to-eat food is important to prevent cross-contamination of harmful bacteria between the two types of food. Raw meat can contain harmful bacteria, such as Salmonella or E. coli, which can cause foodborne illness if they are transferred to ready-to-eat food through shared equipment or surfaces. What is the temperature danger zone? A. 32 degrees Fahrenheit 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Fahrenheit 38 degrees Celsius. B. 40 degrees Fahrenheit 4 degrees Celsius to 140 degrees Fahrenheit 60 degrees Celsius. C. 41 degrees Fahrenheit 5 degrees Celsius to 135 degrees Fahrenheit 57 degrees Celsius. D. 50 degrees Fahrenheit 10 degrees Celsius to 150 degrees Fahrenheit 66 degrees Celsius. Answer: C. The temperature danger zone is the range between 41 degrees Fahrenheit 5 degrees Celsius and 135 degrees Fahrenheit 57 degrees Celsius, in which harmful bacteria can grow rapidly in time/temperature control for safety, TCS, foods. To ensure food safety and minimize the risk of foodborne illness, TCS foods should be kept out of this temperature range as much as possible. Cold TCS foods should be held at 41 degrees Fahrenheit 5 degrees Celsius or below, while hot TCS foods should be held at 135 degrees Fahrenheit 57 degrees Celsius or above. Name 3 items that must not be used to misrepresent the appearance of food. A. Food coloring, artificial sweeteners, and preservatives. B. Food additives, natural flavors, and artificial colors. C. Color additives, colored overwraps, and lights. D. Food dyes, garnishes, and organic labels. Answer, C. 3 items that must not be used to misrepresent the appearance of food are color additives, colored overwraps, and lights. Using these items to alter the appearance of food can deceive consumers by making the food appear fresher or more appealing than it actually is. It is essential for food establishments to present food honestly and accurately, ensuring that customers are informed and able to make proper choices regarding the food they consume. What is the minimum internal cooking temperature for poultry? A. 145 degrees Fahrenheit, 63 degrees Celsius. B. 155 degrees Fahrenheit, 68 degrees Celsius. C. 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. D. 175 degrees Fahrenheit, 79 degrees Celsius. Answer, C. The minimum internal cooking temperature for poultry, including chicken, turkey, and duck, is 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius or 15 seconds. Cooking poultry to this temperature ensures that harmful bacteria, such as Salmonella, are destroyed, reducing the risk of foodborne illness. It is important to use a calibrated food thermometer to accurately measure the internal temperature of the poultry to ensure it has reached the proper temperature for safe consumption. Note: what is the minimum internal temperature that TCS food must reach when it is being reheated for hot holding? A. 135 degrees Fahrenheit, 57 degrees Celsius. B. 145 degrees Fahrenheit, 63 degrees Celsius. C. 155 degrees Fahrenheit, 68 degrees Celsius. D. 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius. Answer, D. Within 2 hours, the food must reach a minimum internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit, 74 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds. This temperature should be reached within 2 hours to ensure that any harmful bacteria or pathogens are destroyed, and the food is safe for consumption. What is the maximum internal temperature for holding cold TCS food? A. 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius. B. 41 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 degrees Celsius. C. 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees Celsius. D. 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees Celsius. Answer, B. The maximum internal temperature for holding cold TCS food is 41 degrees Fahrenheit, 5 degrees Celsius or below. Maintaining this temperature helps prevent the growth of harmful bacteria and ensures the safety and quality of the food. Proper temperature control during storage and service is essential for maintaining food safety and minimizing the risk of foodborne illness. Name 2 ways to avoid bare hand contact with ready-to-eat food. A. Using utensils and wearing gloves. B. Washing hands frequently and using hand sanitizer. C. Touching only the edges of the food and using a spatula. D. Holding food with a paper towel and using a fork. Answer, A. 2 ways to avoid bare hand contact with ready-to-eat food are using utensils and wearing gloves. By using tools such as tongs, spatulas, deli tissue, or single-use gloves, food handlers can prevent the transfer of harmful bacteria or other contaminants from their hands to the food. This practice helps ensure food safety and minimize the risk of foodborne illness. What part of dishes and utensils must servers avoid touching? A. The handles. B. The food contact surfaces. C. The decorative edges. D. The sides. Answer, B. Servers must avoid touching the food contact surfaces of dishes and utensils. Food contact surfaces include the area of a dish or utensil that comes into direct contact with the food, such as the top of a plate, the tines of a fork, or the bowl of a spoon. What are the only types of food that may be reserved to another customer? A. Unopened, prepackaged food items. B. Foods returned by other customers if they look untouched. C. Bread or rolls that were not eaten by a previous customer. D. Cooked food that was not consumed. Answer A. The only types of food that may be reserved to another customer are unopened, prepackaged food items, such as condiment packets, wrapped crackers, or sealed bags of chips. These items have not been exposed to potential contamination and remain safe for consumption. What are the conditions that must be met to hold hot TCS food without temperature control? A. Hold the food at 135 degrees Fahrenheit 57 degrees Celsius or higher before removing it from temperature control. B. Label the food with the time you must throw it out, which is 4 hours after it was removed from temperature control. C. Sell, serve, or throw out the food within 4 hours. D. All of the above. Answer D. The food must be held at 135 degrees Fahrenheit 57 degrees Celsius or higher before removing it from temperature control. The food must be labeled with the time it was removed from temperature control. The food must not exceed a maximum time limit of 4 hours before it is discarded. What type of food safety management system controls risks and hazards throughout the flow of food using 7 sequential steps? A. HACCP, Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point. B. ISO 22000. C. ServSafe. D. GMP, Good Manufacturing Practice. Answer A. The HACCP, Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, system is a food safety management system that controls risks and hazards throughout the flow of food using 7 sequential steps. HACCP is designed to identify, evaluate, and control potential hazards in food production, processing, and distribution to ensure the safety of food products. The 7 principles of HACCP include conducting hazard analysis, determining critical control points, establishing critical limits, monitoring procedures, corrective actions, verification procedures, and record-keeping or documentation. Name a program that should be a part of a food safety management system. A. Personal Hygiene Program. B. Customer Loyalty Program. C. Employee Training Program. D. Menu Planning Program. Answer A. A personal hygiene program should be a part of a food safety management system. In addition, food safety training program, supplier selection and specification program, quality control and assurance program, cleaning and sanitation program, standard operating procedures, facility design and equipment maintenance program, and pest control program should be a part of a food safety management system. Once critical limits have been established in a HACCP plan, what is the next step? A. Conducting hazard analysis. B. Monitoring procedures. C. Establishing corrective actions. D. Verification procedures. Answer B. Once critical limits have been established in a HACCP, Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, plan, the next step is to set up monitoring procedures. Monitoring procedures involve regularly observing and measuring critical control points to ensure that they remain within the established critical limits. Monitoring helps detect potential deviations from the critical limits, allowing for timely corrective actions to be taken before the food becomes unsafe. Which of the following types of records should be kept as part of a HACCP plan? A. Monitoring activities. B. Taking corrective actions. C. Validating equipment. D. Working with suppliers. E. All of the above. Answer E. All of the above records should be kept as part of a HACCP, Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point, plan. Maintaining records of monitoring activities, corrective actions, equipment validation, and working with suppliers is crucial for ensuring the ongoing effectiveness of the HACCP plan in preventing foodborne illness and demonstrating compliance with food safety regulations. These records provide evidence that the HACCP plan is being effectively implemented and followed, and they can be used to identify areas for improvement, assess performance, and ensure continuous food safety management. Which of the following is an FDA public health intervention? A. Proper cooking temperatures. B. Temperature control. C. Hand washing procedures. D. Consumer advisory. Answer D. Among the given options, the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, considers consumer advisory as one of their public health interventions. In addition, demonstration of knowledge, staff health controls, controlling hands as a vehicle of contamination, and time and temperature parameters for controlling pathogens are part of FDA public health intervention. All surfaces must be cleaned and rinsed. What additional task must be performed for food contact surfaces? A. Air drying. B. Wiping with a clean cloth. C. Sanitizing. D. Rinsing with hot water. Answer C. In addition to cleaning and rinsing, food contact surfaces must also be sanitized. Sanitizing is the process of reducing the number of microorganisms on a surface to a safe level, which helps prevent the growth of harmful bacteria and the risk of foodborne illness. This extra step is crucial for maintaining food safety in food service establishments, as food contact surfaces directly interact with the food being prepared, served, or stored. What organizations regulate chemical sanitizers? A. FDA, Food and Drug Administration. B. USDA, United States Department of Agriculture. C. EPA, Environmental Protection Agency. D. OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Answer C. The FDA sets guidelines and standards for the safe use of sanitizers in food service establishments, ensuring that these chemicals effectively reduce harmful microorganisms on food contact surfaces without causing harm to consumers. The EPA is responsible for regulating and registering sanitizing chemicals, evaluating their safety and effectiveness, and establishing criteria for their use. Which of the following places where hand washing stations should be located in operation? A. Restrooms. B. Food preparation areas. C. Service areas. D. Dishwashing areas. E. All of the above. Answer E. Hand washing stations should be conveniently located in restrooms and food preparation areas within a food service operation. Providing easily accessible hand washing facilities in these locations encourages proper hand hygiene practices among food handlers, which is essential for preventing the spread of pathogens and reducing the risk of foodborne illness. Restrooms are an obvious location for hand washing stations, as they allow employees and customers to wash their hands after using the facilities. What is the measurement for lighting intensity? A. Lumens. B. Watts. C. Foot candles. D. Lux. Answer C and D. Lighting intensity is typically measured in foot candles or lux. Both units measure the amount of light that reaches a surface. A foot candle is defined as the amount of light received by a surface 1 foot away from a uniform source of light equivalent to 1 candle. Lux is the metric unit equivalent, defined as the amount of light received by a surface 1 meter away from a uniform source of light equivalent to 1 candle. 1 foot candle is equal to approximately 10.764 lux. This is not an MCQ. What are the 5 steps to clean and sanitize items in a 3-compartment sink? First, rinse, scrape, or soak items before washing them. Second, wash items in the first sink. Third, rinse items in the second sink. Fourth, sanitize items in the third sink. And fifth, air dry items on a clean and sanitized surface. You may note it down. Next, move into our final question. What are the 5 steps to clean and sanitize items in a 3-compartment sink? 1. Rinse, scrape, or soak items before washing them. 2. Wash items in the first sink. 3. Rinse items in the second sink. 4. Sanitize items in the third sink. 5. Air dry items on a clean and sanitized surface.